So here's the big question that we're asking this evening. Is Arvind Kejriwal daring the ED to now arrest him? Are Arvind Kejriwal and Mr. Soren evading the top investigating agencies in the country? Has Arvind Kejriwal's image of being non-corrupt, Kattar Imandar, taken a hit with evading the investigation process? The heat on opposition leaders ahead of polls. Is this political vendetta? And corruption probes losing credibility if you just look at the number of files that have been opened up against politicians of the opposition, mind you. Let's take these questions to our panelists this evening. Ashutosh, columnist, author, political analyst. Jasmine Shah, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. Sanju, Verma, Bharatiya Janata Party national spokesperson. Supriya, Shrinate, Congress spokesperson. They join us this evening, and Jasmine Shah, to open the debate with you. Third time evading investigation, interrogation by one of the top investigating agencies is a serious charge, and then to turn around and say the agency is compromised.
Preeti, it is every constitutional right of any law-abiding citizen of India not to respect an utterly illegal summons issued by any investigating agency. And that is what Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has done. He's exercised his right within the binds of law. And the last two times he declined the summons, Preeti, he raised very important questions. These are questions that have been raised by various courts in the past when they have also, the courts have intervened and quashed the summons of ED. What are these questions? Are you calling somebody, like in this case, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, as a culprit, or are you calling him as a witness? Are you calling him as in his capacity as the national convener of Aam Aadmi Party, or as the sitting chief minister and the head of the cabinet of Delhi? What are the evidences that you want him to bring? Is this something, a friendly chat or banter over tea, or do you actually want to investigate and ask for certain files? All these important questions. So it's not Mr. Kejriwal who's not responding. The ED is silent. And what it is trying to do is a complete hit job, a fishing and roving expedition, only and only to target Mr. Kejriwal ahead of the Lok Sabha election. The second important point, Preeti, I want to say is also that the timing of this summons is very, very suspicious. Why does it happen that every time ED issues a summons, first it is released to the media and to the BJP? They start yelling, "Dekho, summons aa gaya, summons aa gaya." Mr. Kejriwal receives it multiple hours later. So it's very clear that the attempt here is only to tarnish the reputation. And second, why is it that even in this case, it is issued just before a Lok Sabha election? 1.5 years has gone into the investigation on this so-called liquor scam. 500 witnesses have been summoned. Why is it that Mr. Kejriwal has been called at the very end when a Rajya Sabha election in Delhi is going to happen in a few days, where Mr. Kejriwal is going to vote?
But, Jasmine Shah, the ED can say your first summon came in the fag end of October.
No, but that also happened before the three state elections that the Aam Aadmi Party was fighting. CBI, it is not that we are running away. Mr. Kejriwal responded to the CBI query. He went and visited CBI. So we are law-abiding citizens. We will respect every summons that is legal. But this kind of a political vendetta trying to crush opposition, the question is, in the last 1 year, tell me how many senior BJP leaders have been even issued summons.
I'm going to take that question to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, you're smiling. But
these are all names everybody knows.
Right. Okay, to take off from what Jasmine Shah says, ever since the Modi government has come to power, Sanju Verma, and I'll just give you some data there. Investigations by the ED has been increased 27 folds. From 2004 to 2014, 112 raids. From 2014 to 22, 3,010 raids. Out of that, if you break it down further and get into micro data, which you like, Sanju Verma, 95% of that data contributes to raids on politicians which are from the opposition. So if the Aam Aadmi Party is going to turn around and say this is political vendetta, there is a possibility that claim could have traction.
Preeti, thank you for having me on your show and for putting out that data. I have a couple of points to make.
Point number one, under Section 52 of the PMLA Act of 2002, subsequently amended in 2005, it says the director, additional director, joint director, deputy director or assistant director shall have the power to summon any person. I want to highlight the word any person whose attendance they consider necessary, whether to give evidence or to produce any records during the course of any investigation or proceeding under the PMLA Act. So point number one, if Arvind Kejriwal has been issued the third summon this time around, given the fact that he failed to appear in the earlier two summons that were issued to him. The ED is doing it well within its rights that have been bestowed on the ED by Section 52 of the PMLA Act. Point number one, it is absolutely legal, absolutely constitutional, and it is as per the provisions of the PMLA Act. Point number two, the PMLA Act further says, and this is very interesting, Preeti, Rule 2P and Rule 11 of the PMLA Act of 2005 state that the Enforcement Directorate has sweeping and substantive powers to summon anyone it deems fit when an ongoing investigation is underway. Point number three, Arvind Kejriwal saying, the ED is opaque, the ambit of their jurisdiction is not transparent, whether I have been called as an accused or as a witness, as the convener of Aam Aadmi Party or as the head of cabinet, all these things are secondary. The Enforcement Directorate, wide the law of the land, has called the current Chief Minister of Delhi, and it is incumbent upon him to appear, because if you fail to appear after the third summons, the next step is summary arrest of the Chief Minister, Arvind Kejriwal, in this case. And this was amply specified by the Supreme Court in the judgment in July 2022 of Vijay Madanlal Chaudhary versus the Union of India.
But while you say that, Sanju Verma, while you say that, a seventh summon has gone for Mr. Soren, and we've seen no arrest till now.
Can I? Okay, Preeti, I'm just wrapping up what I have to say. I want to say one thing now which your audience needs to know. When Manish Sisodia and Satinder Jain were initially arrested, and subsequently when Sanjay Singh was arrested, what did Kejriwal say? Kejriwal was busy distributing integrity and character certificates, saying Manish Sisodia to Raja Harishchandra ka avatar hai, Sanjay Singh to Bhagat Singh ka avatar hai, Satinder Jain se zyada honest और ईमानदार तो कोई है ही नहीं. I want to ask the Aam Aadmi Party PT through your channel and your show, the Delhi High Court, the Trial Court, the District Court, the Patiala Court, the Rouse Avenue Court, the Sessions Court, and finally the Supreme Court rejected Sanjay Singh's bail application repeatedly, Manish Sisodia's bail application repeatedly. Are you telling me that the Supreme Court is the handmaiden of the BJP government?
All right.
Are you saying Delhi High Court is the handmaiden of
Ms.
the
Verma,
BJP government?
you've answered what you wanted to say, but you haven't quite touched upon the question I asked you, but save it for the next question, which is the data that I presented, the 27 increase by the ED investigative agency coming down on opposition, which is 95% of the cases there. We're going to come down to that question.
But answer that?
No, ma'am, I'll come down to it. I'll come back to you on that. Supriya, Shrinate, to bring you in on this must catch you in a bit of a dichotomy, quandary, whatever you might want to call it, because you were the complainants in this case, and now you have an ally to defend that you complained against.
No, I don't think there's any dichotomy, and let me begin by first wishing all your viewers and yourself and my co-panelists a great year ahead.
You too,
But I do want to say something at the outset. I think whether there is a potential offence or not, let there be law enforcement and let investigation happen, and that should take its due course. Having said that, we live in a world where there is altered paradigm. We live in a world where there is huge overreach, where we live in a world where it's a diabolical pattern. The Enforcement Directorate that we are talking to, and I will come to Mr. Kejriwal or the politicians being chased in one bit, but the Enforcement Directorate did not shy away from sending notices to two farmers in Tamil Nadu. One a 72-year-old farmer and another a 67-year-old farmer in the Salem district. What was their offence? They got into a legal dispute with the local BJP leader. And so the Enforcement Directorate is now sending notices and summons to farmers, to poor farmers of this country. This is where we have come to. I do believe that the pattern of misuse, the pattern of abuse, the pattern of use of enforcement agencies, of law enforcement agencies as frontals of the BJP is for there to see. I mean, the number that you quoted or otherwise, one can step back and say, what was law enforcement doing all this while? For 60 days, there were members of the BJP IT cell who have been alleged of gang rape And cases are now coming to fore where they would go on IIT BHU campus.
Ma'am, I'll come to you. Please respect each other's time.
These men were involved.
Ma'am, everyone take a deep breath, respect each other's time, and we will go one by one. I will give you enough time to respond. Ma'am, Miss Verma, allow. Ma'am, allow panelists to say whatever they want. I'll come back to you as long it's civil and it's not abusive. Allow, ma'am. Instead of digressing, allow. I'll come back to you and you can answer. Can I just get Ms. Shrinate to complete, and then we'll go across to Ashutosh, Jasmine, and then back to Ms. Verma. Ms. Shrinate, make your point.
We are talking about law enforcement, and as a citizen and a woman of this country, I want to know what was law enforcement doing for 60 days when members of the BJP IT cell have now been arrested for allegedly gang raping a woman. What were they doing for 60 days? They were working for the MP elections for the BJP. They were working in Madhya Pradesh. I want to know what was law enforcement and what is law enforcement doing in Manipur. Manipur has been burning for 8 months now. The Prime Minister hasn't visited there. 48 hours back, 4 people were killed. 24 hours back, armed forces have been attacked. The reality is that when you start issuing notices to farmers of your country as Enforcement Directorate, you have lost all kind of credibility. And the problem with losing credibility for law enforcement agencies is that when you have selective political vendetta and political scores to settle, nobody believes you. And that is what is happening to the credibility of our institutions under Mr. Modi. The overreach, the diabolical pattern, the template has been set. Only members of the opposition will be targeted. If this was an investigation or a law enforcement agency was looking into it, nobody would have had a problem. But the reality is, if you join the BJP, all law enforcement, all the cases against you will evaporate. They will just completely sublime. They will go into
Ms. Shrinate, I'm going to come
to
to you because
the opposition,
I'm going to come back to you, and the question I'd ask you then, ma'am, is something that the BJP will also say, because you're using the fig leaf of possibly farmers as well to cover up the likes of your own party Rajya Sabha MP Dheeraj Sahu, who was caught with cash amounting to 290 crores in his own house. So all of those questions will be asked. I'll come back to you. Ashutosh,
I can answer that question.
Ma'am, I'll come back to you. Ma'am, please hold on to that thought. Allow me to come back to you.
I can answer that question.
Allow me to come back to you. Ashutosh, I want to bring you in on this. And the question I want to ask you is, what has been the calling card, and I would reckon you'd know that best, of Arvind Kejriwal, and that has been non-corrupt, Kattar Imamdar. Which way will it swing this time?
See, Priya, I think that's the conundrum which is facing Aam Aadmi Party. The fact of the matter is that today the past of the Aam Aadmi Party and the big claims which has been made in the past is coming to haunt Aam Aadmi Party and Kejriwal. So they can't run away from this. There are the two angles to the story. One angle to the story is that why Kejriwal is not is going and facing Enforcement Directorate, and why he is skipping that. So this is the question which he should ask, he should answer. And there is no because the more he does, the more the people get suspicion and the doubt that there is something which is from which he is running away. The angle to the second story is that unfortunately the PMLA Act is such, and Enforcement Directorate has been weaponized to this extent that only opposition leaders and political parties are being targeted. The 95% cases are only against opposition, the political parties, only 5% against the BJP. And we are talking about Enforcement Directorate at a time when the two chief ministers, they are virtually facing to be arrested by Enforcement Directorate, which is a bizarre situation in this country. One is the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, another is Hemant Soren. And the BJP can say that, yes, we are, the law enforcing agencies are taking their own course. But the fact of the matter is that Enforcement Directorate today has become a political tool to counter opposition, to demolish opposition, and to destabilize their government. There's no doubt about it. Absolutely, there is no doubt. Because I'm not here to believe that BJP, every chief minister of the BJP, every leader of the BJP, every MP, MLA of the BJP are Raja Harishchandra, and they're dead honest. The fact of the matter is, but the Arvind Kejriwal has no other option than to face ED, because PMLA Act is such, he cannot ask that you tell me whether I am being called as a witness or I am called as a culprit or something else. Because the nature of the act is such, and that twice the opposition has gone to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has not given any relief on this matter. You remember more than 9 political parties had gone Supreme Court and
Yes.
asking that there should be made some exception. And the Supreme Court said, no, nothing doing. Even the Supreme Court order itself has more beefed up the PMLA Act and made it more draconian. So unfortunately, fortunately, whatever you call it,
Okay.
Aam Aadmi Party has to face it.
And Jasmine Shah, that's the question I want to lead to. It's a double-edged sword as put by Ashutosh himself. Because at one end, yes, you can say this is political vendetta. Look at XYZ leader, no action against them. Why only against us? But the fact could also be then the chickens have come home to roost. You understand that as draconian as it might be, this particular PMLA law is going to take you down. So it was easier to appear before the CBI, but not the ED.
Let me repeat this again, that we welcome any investigation by any investigating agency in the country, including the Enforcement Directorate, provided this happens within the bounds of the Constitution and bounds of the law. ED is not God. ED cannot decree that I shall appear tomorrow. I will not give any further information and you please show up and have a cup of tea. So the questions that were asked by Mr. Kejriwal were very sensible questions. If you are really serious about doing an investigation, then what is the problem? Why would ED not answer these questions? ED has responded to questions asked by other people in the past. But in the case of Mr. Kejriwal, there is alarming secrecy. Absolutely not even responding to questions, but no acknowledgement
Jasmine
to
Shah,
all the
under
letters that the CM has sent.
under PMLA, the ED doesn't even have to go to the court to ask for an order to arrest you. They can do it unilaterally. That's how draconian the law is.
That is not a problem, Preeti. If they want to do it, I think the farce will be called out in open daylight. And that is precisely what the entire opposition is alleging. That today, no BJP leader is even issued a summons by the ED.
Okay.
We are saying that the orders that ED receives are from BJP headquarters because BJP netas know first that summons issue hone wala hai. BJP netas have been saying since yesterday कि आज Arvind Kejriwal arrest hone wala hai. How did you come to know of all this?
All right.
That clearly shows that ED has become BJP's agency. For the rest of the country, you can only pray. And I think that is the harsh reality confronting the nation.
All right. Okay, Sanju Verma, you've been wanting to come for an interjection, but the question that I asked you earlier, and the point which, say, Supriya, Shrinate, Jasmine Shah, to a level even Ashutosh has made, is the fact that, it's mind-boggling if you look at it. The likes of Yashwant Jadhav, Yamini Jadhav let off, Pradeep Sarnaik let off, and this is half of the Shinde cabinet that you have. And then again, you have the likes of Himanta Biswa Sarma, Narayan Rane, Suvendu Adhikari, Kripa Shankar Singh, where trails have gone cold, be it the ED or the CBI.
Preeti, you have one person from the Aam Aadmi Party, you have one person from the Congress, and then everybody knows that Ashutosh is anti-BJP. You have 3 people on the other side. I need my time if you want this to be a fair debate. And I don't want to be heckled by you or anybody else, because there have been people who have digressed from the core issue. I will answer every query of yours because I enjoy being on your shows. Now let me, handle every allegation. First, the Congress. She chose to digress. She spoke about 3 BJP office bearers who were accused of gang rape. Yes, they were accused, but they have been arrested. I want to ask the Congress spokesperson, Sukanya Singh Devi accused Rahul Gandhi of gang rape in 2006. In 2007, Sukanya Singh vanished. Her father Balram Singh vanished. Her mother Sumitra Devi vanished. Sukanya Singh met Sonia Gandhi and the Human Rights Commission in 2006. And immediately after their meeting with Sonia Gandhi, all the 3, daughter, father, mother,
stop peddling lies because the court has announced its verdict.
Okay.
You foul-mouthed woman, stop peddling lies.
Okay, 1 second. We're going to go
one
by one.
I will hold you in contempt of court.
Okay.
I will ensure
can I just, okay, Ms. Shrinate, hold on to that thought. I'll come back to you. Okay, the point of the courts, Ms. Verma, the point of the courts that Ms. Shrinate is making is valid. It is valid. Okay, 1 second. May I just get Ms. Verma? Ms. Shrinate, I'm coming right back to you. You can make the point there.
Thank you.
Ms. Shrinate, you can make the point when I come to you. Ms. Verma, the point that Ms. Shrinate of the courts that she's making is valid.
But to be alone on the screen. You gave long time to the Congress.
No, I am giving you time, madam. I am giving you time. Will you make your point?
No, so I will make my point, but take me alone on the screen. Don't be unfair to the
Ma'am, I'm not being unfair. You are talking. There is no one talking over you. Make your point, Ms. Verma. May I just get Ms. Verma? Can I just get Ms. Verma and I'll cut across to Ms. Shrinate right after. Ms. Verma, make your point. The issue on the court in this particular case that Ms. Shrinate is making, there's a point there, ma'am. Please honor that.
Can I finish, PP? You don't need to tell me what I should say. I want to be alone on the screen or I'm not talking.
Ma'am,
Because
go
you
ahead.
took the Congress
Make
alone
your
on the
point.
screen. I can see everybody on the screen. Take me alone if you want my view.
Sanju, can I please get Sanju Verma to make her point? Go ahead, ma'am.
No, I want to be alone on the screen like you took the Congress spokesperson alone on the screen.
Here you got your wish. Madam, go
Yeah,
ahead,
thank
alone
you.
on the screen. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Preeti. Thank you for small mercies. I want to say this. BJP ensured that the 3 people who were office bearers were arrested after they were accused of gang rape. The Congress is in bed with the DMK in Tamil Nadu, where famous lyricist Vaira Muthu has been accused of sexual assault and molestation by equally renowned singer called Chinmaya Sripada and 16 other women. Have you seen Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Vadra open their mouth? Have you seen Supriya Shrinate condemn Vaira Muthu even once? Last year, P.T. Madhavan, the personal secretary of Sonia Gandhi, was accused of, promising marriage to a widowed Dalit woman and then raping her repeatedly. Has Supriya Shrinate spoken once against P.T. Madhavan? What about Ankita Datta, their young Congress leader from Assam, who accused B. Srinivas, one of their other youth Congress leaders, of sexual assault and molestation? Have you seen Supriya Shrinate speak once in favor of Ankita Datta? She sits here and gives a bhashan to the BJP. She has failed to learn lessons that the reason the Congress was wiped out in Madhya Pradesh, wiped out in Chhattisgarh, wiped out in Rajasthan was because people believe that lawlessness is the DNA of Congress. Lawlessness is not the DNA of BJP. Corruption is the DNA of Congress and Kejriwal. Corruption is not the DNA of BJP. And Preeti, to your question, you raised a very valid point which was raised by Abhishek Manu Singhvi in April 2023 last year, to which Justice Chandrachud said, if you feel that the Enforcement Directorate is being unfair, and if you feel that the political space for the opposition is getting crunched, then the solution to that is political. You cannot knock on the doors of the court saying generically that the Enforcement Directorate is draconian. If you have specific cases, we in the Supreme Court are more than willing to give you a fair listen. And I want to ask you one thing, Preeti. Tell me honestly, Dheeraj Sahu with 353 crores, he's in Rajya Sabha MP from Congress. What does Jairam Ramesh say? हमें तो कुछ पता ही नहीं थी. ये तो इनका खानदानी पैसा है.
All right.
No, I
But
want to ask you one more thing. Last but not the least.
Ma'am, 10 seconds.
Do you remember, Preeti? Do you remember that when the charge was made against Karnataka BJP in the run-up to Karnataka Assembly elections, कि ये 40% commission सरकारा है. We asked, the person responsible, be it Madan Virupakshappa, who was denied a ticket, or K. Ishwarappa, who was the Panchayati Raj minister, we asked him to step down.
All right. I want to go back to Supriya Shrinate. Ma'am, come on. Okay, you've had your say. On the question that I posed on the number of ministers, which is half of your cabinet with Mr. Eknath Shinde, where cases have suddenly gone cold, the solution by the court might be political, but it will be discussed in the political domain, so therefore the questions are being asked. Supriya Shrinate, you wanted...
Preeti, can't you talk about D.K. Shivkumar?
Ma'am, he was only called by the ED in the heat of the Karnataka elections.
Why are you not discussing Manish Sisodia, who's still pulling his heels in the jail?
Ma'am, those questions are going to be asked. Those questions are already being asked by Jasmine Shah. Come on. Okay, let's not digress. Okay, can I just get Supriya Shrinate into the conversation? Supriya Shrinate, you wanted to respond to what Sanju Verma was saying, but having said that, there have been enough instances, especially the one I counted of your own Rajya Sabha member from Jharkhand, Ms. Shrinate.
I will only speak on one condition if our audio goes down, because that's what you did to me.
Ma'am, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Your question,
and
you can
yes,
carry on
go ahead.
I'm happy to leave. Thank you. First and foremost, a foul-mouthed lie peddler here will be held in contempt of court because she lies blatantly about Rahul Gandhi. The Supreme Court has pronounced a verdict here, but this lying machine of the BJP will come and lie here. I promise to you, for the rest of your living life, you will not see the archlights of a news studio, you BJP spokesperson, because you are lying through your teeth and you should be held in contempt of court, and I will see to it that you are. That's the first thing that I want to say. The second thing that I want to say, Ram Dular Gond ka naam suna hai? Aapka Sonbhadra ka MLA tha. He has been found guilty and has been pronounced for 25 years behind bars for raping a minor girl. Why did you give him a ticket? He was facing those charges. You gave him a ticket, he became an MLA, and now he has been convicted. Exactly the same pattern with Kuldeep Singh Sengar. The BJP is full of it's a party of rapists, and that's what these IT cell members have also proven. Now, incidents are coming to light that these IT cells members were repeatedly going on campuses. They were eve-teasing women, and in the time they should have been arrested for those 60 days.
Okay.
They were a part of the Madhya Pradesh BJP campaign. So the WhatsApp message that comes on your phone from a BJP member, it can be a potential rapist. That's what the BJP has reduced this country to. I have simply one question to ask. If Enforcement Directorate can justify sending a notice to 2 farmers of this country, 2 poor farmers of Tamil Nadu, we can have a further discussion on Enforcement Directorate. They have zero credibility.
Okay.
The credibility would have been, and I have said it in the beginning.
Okay, before I go to
if there is a
Ashutosh,
potential offence, let there be law enforcement.
Okay, but there's a question, Ms. Shrinate, there's a question that I want to ask you. Shut
up! Just shut up now.
Okay, one second. Can I just get Ms. Shrinate?
Shut up.
Can I just get Ms. Shrinate? Ma'am, there's a question that I want to ask
you. You lie peddler, shut up now.
Ms. Shrinate,
keep your mouth shut.
Ms. Shrinate, one second. Let's everybody, draw a breath. Be a little calm, and let me ask you a question, because you claim to be a party with a difference.
She cannot speak nonsense.
Ms. Shrinate, there's a point that has been raised repeatedly, which has been on social media, otherwise by Chinmay Shripada as well. Do you today on national television condemn with Mr. Vaira Muthu being feted time and time again by the likes of your own minister, Mr. Chidambaram, or Mr. Stalin?
I am willing to take a stand for any woman in this country. But I will not take it lying down that there are lies being peddled, and I am not willing to take it lying down that the BJP is justifying having its IT cell full of rapists and molesters by pointing in other direction. आपके लोग BJP IT cell के rape करके
may I just give a digression again? May I get
shut the hell up.
I'd like to get
Bhushan Sharan Singh to Ram Dulal Gaur to Kuldeep Singh
Ms. Shrinate, like I said, can we all just draw a deep breath and calm down and get back to the topic, which is Arvind Kejriwal skipping a third summon, and Ashutosh to bring you in on this. Going forward from here on, this might not be the Aam Aadmi Party's election where 2024 is concerned. But on a larger picture, there has always been an image that he's worked on. Do you think this will harm Arvind Kejriwal's image of constantly, you have most of your top leadership behind bars, skipping a summon 3 times over where the ED is concerned? What happens to the Kattar Imandar image?
See, this will certainly harm Aam Aadmi Party. There is no doubt about it, because the first summon was issued. I think Arvind Kejriwal should himself has volunteered, should have gone to the ED and said that if I have committed some wrong, please arrest me. Otherwise, you have no business to keep calling me all the time. I think he has missed that opportunity. Maybe he's wrongly advised. But the fact of the matter is, the more you avoid these kind of notices, the more suspicion grows in the minds of the people, and especially with Aam Aadmi Party, because Aam Aadmi Party's entire narrative and entire politics started with that they were very bullish on the issue of corruption. So when the corruption issues are raised against them, it is for them to take the bull by horn and challenge the government and administration that if I had committed something wrong, please arrest me. I'm not running away from here. But if you don't go, then I think the suspicion will grow, and that will politically harm. There is no doubt about it.
All right, okay. Jasmine Shah, you might be heaving a sigh of relief because the conversation through this course has gone elsewhere only with the BJP and the Congress, but getting you back into the conversation, Jasmine Shah. And the fact is, you've always said you were a party with a difference. You said that you were non-corrupt. You pointed a finger at everyone else. And today, by the conduct of refusing to honor a summon, taking off from what Ashutosh also said, you're only harming yourself, because even if you look at the Supreme Court coming down, be it Manish Sisodia, be it Sanjay Singh, they've all been denied bail repeatedly. The Supreme Court has even gone to the extent to suggest that there is a credible money trail when it comes down to Mr. Sisodia. The charges on Mr. Kejriwal are not light.
Preeti, I think your viewers should recall the hard fact that it has been 1.5 years since this fake liquor scam investigation has begun. 500 witnesses called, 1,000 raids done, not a single rupee recovered. And I'll correct you, the Supreme Court's bail order of Manish Sisodia doesn't use the word money trail. There is no money trail. The only thing they have pointed at is a provision of the policy which has been passed by the cabinet of Delhi and the lieutenant governor, which provides for a certain margin of profits for the private players or part of it. It's a fully transparent policy. But the fact that today, if ED turns into a bully, and if you stand up to a bully and then you are called that dekho aap to bhag rahe ho, you cannot hold both facts or arguments together. Either ED is credible or ED is not credible. I think today the data very clearly shows that ED has lost all its credibility. It is not willing to issue even one summons against all these dagi netas of BJP, while repeatedly it is trying to jail the opposition leaders without even a single iota of money being found or any evidence being found. And that is the reality. Standing up to a bully doesn't mean anything.
Okay, let me come back with the rebuttal. You said there's no mention of money trail. The last time Manish Sisodia's bail plea was rejected, the Supreme Court said, and I quote, money trail of 338 crores has been tentatively established and that the rule of law applies equally to all citizens and institutions.
So, Preeti, the oral comments may have been made. The written bail order does not use the words money trail because there is nothing of a money trail. It says that there is a profit margin that has been provided to wholesalers by the policy, which is clear transparently, as I said, by the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, by everyone. But only the Aam Aadmi Party leaders are questioned. The Lieutenant Governor is not even called for summoning. And forget that. I'm asking a blank question to Sanju Verma. Tell me 5 BJP top netas who have been even issued a summons. Forget about investigation being carried out. Forget a charge sheet being filed. Forget about trial being initiated. You have given a complete blanket pardon to all the BJP netas who come through a washing machine. You call 70,000 crore ka nationalist corrupt party to NCP, and next day you make a government with them. So today, BJP, on the matter of corruption, BJP has lost complete credibility. The ED has lost complete credibility.
Sanju Verma, closing comments.
Is asking the right questions.
Sanju Verma, the charge is also you've liquidated the credibility of the ED, and the reaction to that is you have the likes of Mr. Abhishek Banerjee, who has constantly skipped summons. You have Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who skipped his 3rd summon. You have Mr. Soren, who skipped a summon. Where does the credibility of the ED lie? Because the figures seem to suggest it's only the opposition.
May I speak now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you take me alone on the screen, or do I have to make a request?
Please, all alone. Come.
Thank you. Thank you. Preeti, now I want to say one thing. Supriya Shrinate abused me. I want to say, Supriya Shrinate, you are accusing me of being in contempt of court. Madam, you are called Gali Wali Madam on Twitter because your foul mouth, nirlaj, besharam or behaya. Aapke jaisi behaya pravakta.
No, 1 second, okay. Ma'am, what has she abused you with? What did she say?
Now let me comment on what Jasmine Shah said.
Can I just, with all the panelists, please refrain from using foul language? Ma'am, I'm moderating. I am allowed to tell the entire panel not to use foul language.
Can I finish? Thank you. She used abusive language. I only showed her the mirror. Can I finish?
Ma'am, what did she call you? I want to know, because then I will go back to her.
Okay, Jasmine Shah said that the ED has lost all credibility. So did the Congress spokesperson say. I want to tell you, Preeti, that the ED was set up in 1964 and it attained the status of a statutory body in 2003. It has quasi-judicial powers of a civil court, and under Section 17, 19 and 25 of the PMLA Act, the Enforcement Directorate can make suo moto arrest. Has it done a suo moto arrest of Arvind Kejriwal? No. Did it do a suo moto arrest of Manish Sisodia? No. Did the court deny bail to Sisodia? Yes. Did the court deny bail to Satendra Jain? Yes.
Okay.
Did the court deny bail to Partha Chatterjee of TMC? Yes. Did the Supreme Court quash proceedings against Abhishek Banerjee? No. Has the Supreme Court quashed proceedings against Dheeraj Sahu of the Congress? No. Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi went begging to the Supreme Court saying, we have nothing to do as far as tax evasion in the National Herald stand is concerned. The Supreme Court told Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi...
I need to close the bulletin. I want to cut across to Ms. Shrinate. 30 seconds, ma'am. Please respond. I'm coming to you. 1 second. Okay, may I get Ms. Shrinate? Ms. Shrinate, over to you. Closing comments, ma'am. Closing comments. Can I get Ms. Supriya Shrinate, please? Closing comments.
I have no closing comments to make. You go on the street and ask a 10-year-old boy or a 10-year-old girl, How credible is the Enforcement Directorate, the CBI or the Income Tax Department today? And the answer will prove what we are saying. Don't believe us. Go and ask a 10-year-old child who watches news and sees the BJP what it does.
But Supriya, Shrinate,
Verma,
when the Prime Minister says ek
for the
paika
living
hisab
daylights
hoga.
out of you, I will ensure that you are held in contempt of court for peddling lies here. Remember this. For the last time I'm telling you,
with
peddling lies here
with that,
tonight on the show.
All right, with that, thank you. I thank all our panelists for joining us. Let's all draw a deep breath with what it went. But having said that, we're going to leave it at that. But this is a conversation which is going to carry on forth. Right now, the ED hasn't come up with a fourth summon. They are in their rights to arrest Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. What option will they exercise? Trust us to keep you up to speed. With that, thanking all our panelists joining us this evening.